What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost, and tonight we have something interesting trending on Twitter, and that is hashtag Thank You Rian Johnson. And it's pretty interesting. I've got another article that we're actually going to talk about, kind of about where this is coming from. And, this kind of plays into it. Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker allowed toxic fandom to win. Yes, another one of these archived articles that I like to use. You guys know I like to use Internet Archive on CBR articles, especially trash ones, and that's exactly what this is. But first, I just wanted to take a scroll through Twitter so you guys can kind of see what's going on. And sure enough, trending 5th right now. It was up to like 3rd or 2nd last time I checked. But now it's at 5th. Took me a little while to get to the video. Hashtag Thank You Rian Johnson. This guy says, thank you, Rian Johnson. Most people dislike The Last Jedi, but I would say it's the best sequel trilogy for sure. Hashtag thank you, Rian Johnson, for creating a wonderful, strong, compassionate character that looks like me. Because that's what matters. For allowing me to believe that love and understanding can still be found between opposite sides. For showing that, that greatness can stem from anywhere and anyone. Thank you, Rian Johnson, have the courage to make a movie without use of elements from the classic trilogy and empty fan service as a crutch. Thanks for show that fail is not reason for shaming and we can learn from it. And thanks again for showing the Force can be inside of anyone. Yes, okay. It's strange phrasing there, but yeah. Thank you, Rian Johnson. I find your movies frustrating but beautiful, and I respect the hell out of you for making them. Can't wait to see Knives Out. Thank you, Rian Johnson, for actually giving the opportunity for characters to grow and live, for going beyond and breaking the cliches of franchise with a little Raylo hand-touching here. Yeah, so kind of crazy. Rian Johnson then thanks the fans. He says, endlessly awed by your passion, creativity, anger, joy, positivity, excitement, engagement, and love. You continuously defy every cynical narrative. You're the best. Hashtag thank you, Star Wars fans. And we have had this battle brewing for the past couple weeks, and we had the lead up to The Rise of Skywalker. And, we obviously in the fandom have been pretty critical of Rian Johnson and The Last Jedi and all that stuff. You know that over the past 2 years. But over the past month, this lead up to Rise of Skywalker, we saw criticism from a different space. We saw it from the cast, the crew, the director, J.J. Abrams, was throwing shade at The Last Jedi. And he was throwing shade in a politically correct way, but when we saw The Last Jedi, spoilers ahead, minor spoilers for The Last Jedi ahead, we could see that it was clear that JJ and Ryan were not on the same page. JJ did not like the way that Rian Johnson went with this trilogy, and that's why so many fans of The Last Jedi and shills that were fans of The Last Jedi had this to say. Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker allowed toxic fandom to win. So let's read this. Again, archived, so we do not give them money for clicks. That's how we do it. I will link this archived article in the description. It's by Sergio Pereira. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. Pereira. Warning, the following contains major spoilers. Skywalker Saga concluded with the release of The Rise of Skywalker. Much like The Last Jedi, however, J.J. Abrams' directed film has divided fans and critics alike as they struggle to find common consensus. For the most part, audiences seem to be happy with Rise of Skywalker's endless fan service and odes to the past. It's confirmed beyond a shadow of a doubt that Disney and Lucasfilm listened to The Last Jedi Fallout and didn't want to repeat. That is true. They listened. They heard what the Phantom Menace was saying, and they tried to make changes. One, it was too late. It didn't matter at that point. And two, the way that this movie was made just not only disrespected TLJ, which is fine in my opinion, but it disrespected everything that came before it. I don't know if this guy mentions the Phantom Menace by name in it. I doubt it. I think he just wants to refer to toxic fandom, probably. But when he says audiences seem to be happy, listen, the Rotten Tomatoes score has been stuck at 86% for forever. People are now making videos speculating about it. I'm not gonna come out and say that I know that's fake or anything. It seems suspect, especially when you look at Metacritic and IMDb scores. Just saying. At the same time, this film is the safest and least daring Star Wars movie ever released. I don't. Maybe Force Awakens was pretty tame. It's predictable and as by the numbers as you can get. Yes, except there are a million numbers to go around. More importantly, though, it spits in the face of writer-director Rian Johnson by destroying what he established in The Last Jedi. In simpler terms, Disney and Lucasfilm caved to the toxic fandom's demands. What demands? Like treat us normally. Don't insult us. Don't call us toxic. Well, you can call us toxic, I guess. Misogynistic, racist, homophobic, whatever it may be, simply for not liking a crappy movie. Before the comments section lights up because I'm writing this for clicks, which we're not going to give because we're using Internet Archive, there's an important thing to keep in mind. Whether you enjoyed TLJ or not, Disney and Lucasfilm gave Johnson the okay to make the film he wanted. If they hadn't been happy with what he was proposing to do, they held the power to prevent it from going ahead. Very true. They trusted Johnson to execute his vision and creativity, which is what any studio should do when they hire a filmmaker. And I can agree with that to some point. They did. A lot of this blame goes straight on Kathleen Kennedy and, really Bob Iger for not being there to supervise her more, or like being more on top of the ball than he is now. He's clearly paying very close attention to what's going on at Lucasfilm now. Look, any film is a risk. Sometimes it works out, other times it doesn't. It's okay to dislike a film and say it didn't work, but targeting the crew members and being a general nuisance online isn't a good look for anyone. All right, thanks. Despite all this, a studio should stand by its director's vision. I wonder if this guy says the same thing for Zack Snyder. Wonder. Yet, The Rise of Skywalker features so many backhands to The Last Jedi, he should have said bitch slaps, that it feels as if Disney and Lucasfilm are trying to pretend as if they were on the fan side the whole time. In many ways, this new film rewrites its predecessor story, tries to erase its history. They talk about the twist to Rey's backstory, and demanded by extremely vocal elements of the Star Wars community, and the filmmakers folded. Yeah, they tried to listen to fans, but they're not good enough at it, evidently. Instead of allowing her to shine as a unique and novel character in this universe, she's woven into the lore as a typical soap opera-esque, I'm really your secret twin sisters from your stepfather's affair with my mother fashion. That's a good line. I appreciate that, at least. It's so funny. Also, what's up with the subtle digs at the previous film? Dude, The Last Jedi is awful. It destroys so much. That is the one thing that I give JJ credit for in this film, is that he tried to fix what he could, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in the end. Luke Skywalker was still a Luke Skywalker he saw there. Holdo still pulled that maneuver. Whether you want to say it's 1 in a million or not, you just explain it a completely terrible way. Like, now you're telling me just aiming a ship at a fleet and pressing hyperspace is a 1 in a million shot? Come on. That's just stupid. For instance, Rey threw away her lightsaber and Luke Skywalker's Force Ghost caught it. He remarked how a Jedi would never do that. A thinly veiled and tongue-in-cheek as the line might sound, it's a jab at the unpopular scene from The Last Jedi where Luke chucked his lightsaber over his shoulder. 100% it is. And it deserves to be. It deserves to be. And here's the part. Of course, it always comes back to this. Even though Kelly Marie Tran is barely in this movie, it always comes up in these articles about toxic fandom. The most disappointing aspect of The Rise of Skywalker, however, was the treatment of Kelly Marie Tran's Rose Tico. The actor received a plethora of abuse on social media from the trolls, forcing her to deactivate her account. Even though it's been shown, and I would highly recommend, I might even link it in the description, or maybe up here I might link that and Ichibaka at the end. He did a great video about the actual story behind Kelly Marie Tran. It was Hollywood. It was people saying that they didn't like her character. That is what it was. And then it was people in Hollywood and in the media and things like that talking about her character that made her feel as though she would always be a side character. This is so freaking disingenuous every single time. We're not buying it. No one's buying this crap. The new movie was a perfect opportunity to give her character an impactful arc and prove a point to the bullies. By sidelining her, though, the filmmakers essentially said the harassment works. No, they said her character served no purpose. Sadly, toxic fandom won this round and got the movie they wanted and deserved. The Rise of Skywalker feels like a fan fiction originated in a Reddit comments thread without so much staleness, or without as much staleness as a 4-week-old turkey sandwich. What's even scarier is how it sets a bad precedent for other films. If fandom screams loudly and obnoxiously enough, the studio might give them exactly what they want, and that's a terrifying thought. And yeah, I agree that the fandom menace did win. I do agree. They were clearly listened to. It's obvious. It is completely obvious that the fandom menace was listened to, and they took that into account when they tried to make this movie. But the rest of it is so bad. They tried to fit 2 movies into one. Rey was even more overpowered than she could ever have possibly been before. so many things. They crap on the old, they crap on the prequel trilogy, they crap on the original trilogy, Force Awakens, Last Jedi, everything. And there's no fixing it after this. And that's the problem with Rise of Skywalker. There's no going back. This is it. We're done. But yeah, just this hashtag thank you Rian Johnson for making a daring, brilliant movie that continues to surprise and delight on every viewing. For making a Star Wars movie that took risks and was bold, and a movie that had powerful messages. Also one of the best fight scenes in all of Star Wars. Thank you, Rian Johnson. Thank you, Rian Johnson, for making Knives Out, inspiring artistry in all of us. For suggesting that anyone can use the Force. It's so crazy. And the idea that now we have this narrative where J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson are essentially going at it like a little bit. J.J. Abrams is sitting back. He kind of put his swipes out in the lead up to this, and he obviously has a movie out right now that is taking swipes at Rian Johnson and his decisions, whereas Rian Johnson is now coming out and saying things in defense of his Luke Skywalker. He has all these fans, all these TLJ gang fans, or whoever it is that's out here saying thank you to him, and he's coming back and saying, you guys are awesome, you fans are awesome for appreciating me. It's interesting to see going forward what else happens, if there's anything else that comes out from behind the scenes about maybe how these guys haven't got along. We have got some leaks, but they're not super reliable. I'm looking to see when NDAs run out and people start talking about this stuff for real, because the drama is entertaining. Not going to lie, the drama is entertaining. But what do you guys think? Did you see hashtag thank you Rian Johnson trending yesterday or last night? Maybe when you wake up in the morning, it'll still be going. It was interesting to me, interesting how this is all setting up, that they tried to please so many people with this movie and it just didn't work. And now we have people, it's so divisive. Just again, it's so divisive. You got the shill media who love The Last Jedi trying to shit on the fandom menace, trying to say the toxic fandom won. Just let me know your thoughts below. I think it's a very interesting topic, and we're going to see more pieces just like this as people try to blame Rise of Skywalker on something. So they're going to try to blame the fandom menace. Hashtag blame the fandom menace. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, share this video around there. Hashtag it with the Rise of Skywalker and thank you Rian Johnson. I think that'd be a good hashtag for it. But yeah, shares out there. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.